So I've been watching through the Borderlands 4 reveal trailer, and one thing caught my attention. What are going to be the weapon manufacturers of this game? Now, when skimming through the trailer, you will see weapon types that look very familiar from what they were in Borderlands 3, and also the weapon skins are very similar too. For example, you look at this gun and you're like, oh hey, that looks like a Jacob's gun. Now, it's not quite the same as what it was in Borderlands 3, but very similar. Jacobs has always had that elegant design, and I would say I'm 95% certain this is going to be Jacobs. Take a look at this one. It is pretty similar to what we see in Borderlands 3 for Maliwan snipers, so my guess is this is Maliwan. Again, we don't know with 100% certainty, but it does seem like it has that Maliwan look, and it really does show how changing the look of a gun can trick your mind a little bit. But it still looks Maliwan, and not to mention, you can see there's like a fire symbol there. The Maliwan gimmick is guns are elemental, so that's another sign. Now we go to the trickier weapons where it gets a little bit harder to tell what the manufacturer could be. This right here looks like it could be a pistol, an SMG, can't really tell at the moment, but the manufacturer, you might say, oh hey, that's Maliwan, right? Well, with this clean look and like angular design, I feel like this could maybe possibly be Hyperion. The fact that it has that blue and yellow on it is throwing me off a bit, because Maliwan, at least for the previous games, have followed that pattern, but the shape of the gun says otherwise. Also, I want to mention that we don't know if these are just like non-unique weapons or unique weapons. I mean, we can't really see the HUD or the weapon card or anything like that. So for all we know, this could be a legendary SMG, pistol, something, we don't know. Also check this out. Look at the redistributor, the blue rarity one from Borderlands 3. That was a Hyperion, it was a unique, and not the best comparison to compare it to, but I'm just showing you that even though it looks like it could be Maliwan, anything is at play here. I won't spend too long on this one. Looks Maliwan, blue and yellow, but again, we don't know for sure. And it looks like it could be either a pistol or SMG. It's very long, but it could just be the ginormous stock on it. Alright, now we get into the I have no idea, but look at this gun right here. Very clean, very angular design. Could be Hyperion. I'm going off of feels here for the previous games, and Hyperion has always had that, you know, angular design. And the colors on this one are a lot darker than the others in the trailers, so this could be a unique for all we know. Blue unique, purple unique, maybe legendary. And unfortunately in the trailers they don't shoot the guns a lot, so it does make it harder to determine what the manufacturers could be. This one here has the Torg look, and it looks, you know, shotgun-like, maybe even pistol-like. It has the rounded barrel and the little bit of piping on the side of the gun. So I'm pretty confident it's Torg, but it's a little bit tricky to tell because they didn't add the exhaust on the gun like they did for Borderlands 3. If you remember, for Torg they had these giant exhaust like mufflers on the back of the gun. And it seems like they differentiated this one from that by not adding that. But it does have those side pipes on the gun, almost like, you know, a fuel transfer. Very Torg-like. Now for the big one, we have the loot on the ground, and unfortunately with the lighting, at least in this scene or the game engine, the weapons on the ground are extremely dark and washed out, so we can't really go off their design too much, but more of their shape. But before we talk about that, let's look at the sniper in the hands. That for sure is a sniper, and it almost looks like it could be Hyperion. Again, it's got the angular designs, the 45-degree angles, very Hyperion-like. Right under her foot, you can see a blue weapon, and if you look right there, you can see a checkered pattern. And if you know anything about checkered patterns from Borderlands 2, that's a Torg manufactured specialty. If it's a sniper, I'd be super duper happy because, like, we haven't had Torg snipers since Borderlands 1, so I would love to see those returned. But with the way the stock is, I don't feel like that's sniper-ish. So my guess is either, you know, shotgun or assault rifle. And then all the way on the left side, you can see a what looks to be assault rifle, and I'm going off of that due to the bipod thing at the front. Specifically, Bladoff assault rifles have this bipod, and that's why I think that could be a Bladoff assault rifle. The only issue is you have this thing on the back here, which is not very Bladoff assault rifle-like from Borderlands 3. So I don't know if that's going to be, you know, a new look for Bladoff, or if this is possibly Torg. Maybe those are exhaust pipes. So we don't know for sure, but that's just, you know, my guess. Now for the one that I am not sure about at all. And it's the reason why I'm pretty much making this video for today. What is this manufacturer? Yellow with some black stripes and a little core thing in the middle, like, what is this? She does fire the gun a little bit, and you can see bullets coming out of it at a slowish pace. So I don't think it's going to be Bladoff due to the slower fire rate on it. And it doesn't match any of the other manufacturers we talked about, so this might just be a unique weapon or legendary that's one of a kind with the skin. But the weapon shape itself, we have not seen that yet. The only two things I could see this being is a TD-War, which, you know, it's kind of a far-fetched guess. But my best guess is going to be that this is the new Bandit manufacturer. And what I mean by that is this could be the Big Mags manufacturer. For some backstory, in Borderlands 1 we had S&S Munitions. They were pretty much the big magazine manufacturer for that game. Borderlands 2 we had Bandit, pre-sequel we had Scav, Borderlands 3 we had COB, and then Wonderlands we had Skulldugger. Those were all the large magazine manufacturers. You see a trend here? All the games thus far have had a large mags manufacturer. So what if this right here is the new large mags manufacturer? The new Bandit, the new COB, the new Scav, whatever you want to call it. Now we're going to get into some big what ifs here. So Borderlands 2 and beyond, they've named this manufacturer after the actual enemy factions in the game. Borderlands 2, you take on the Bandits, and they have a manufacturer called Bandit. Pre-sequel, you take on Scav, which is the, bandit population. They just are called Scavs. And then Borderlands 3, you take on the COV, the Children of the Vault, the clan, or not clan, what do you call it? A cult, sorry, under Tyrene. And in Wonderlands, Skulldugger wasn't really a, enemy type in the game. It was just a D&D gimmick. So we're going to exclude that game. But yeah, going to Borderlands 4, what do we know already about the enemy population? They have been confirmed to be called the Rippers, right? So these enemies right here in the scene are called Rippers, the Ripper clan. So add all that up, and what do we have? What if this is the Ripper manufacturer? What if the large magazine gimmick is the Ripper manufacturer? Again, this is a guess, we don't know anything about the game yet, but the connection's there and it had me thinking about that. Now, if you look at the gimmick itself for the large magazine manufacturer, it has changed a little bit over time. So in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, they were one of the same. Large mag and horrible accuracy with, mid damage. And in Borderlands 3 and Wonderlands did change the system a little bit. Instead, you could fire the gun until it overheated and broke, but it was portrayed to have unlimited magazine, which is technically true if you time your shots and don't overshoot the gun. So going into Borderlands 4, I feel like they're going to change the large mag gimmick again and have it do something new. I mean, personally, if this is going to be a new manufacturer on a new engine for the game, I feel like why would they want to copy the same thing they did for Borderlands 3 again? So it had me thinking what the new Ripper manufacturer could do. Also, I want to point out I'm talking about the non-unique weapon gimmick, not the unique or legendary gimmicks, because I mean those can literally be whatever they want to be. And on my live stream we were discussing this with my chat, link in the description below. And it was 2 really good ideas that we came up with. Now if you look at the weapon card, you can see we have damage, accuracy, mag size, all that kind of stuff. All of those traits on a gun have been taken over by a specific manufacturer. You have Torg and Jacobs for damage, Hyperion for accuracy, Dahl for stability, Vladoff for fire rate, Bandit for mag size, and Malawan for elemental chance. So they either have to add a new stat or go the gimmick route and do what they did for Tediore, where as you know, if you chuck a Tediore, you can throw away your remaining ammo for a big chunk of damage. So it would need to be an off-the-card gimmick, well, unless they add it to the card for Borderlands 4. And that is a chance to double shot. The gun has built-in two-fang. I've seen a couple of mods in Borderlands 2 do that for the Bandit gimmick, and honestly, it works pretty well. Think about it, you have a large magazine, so double shotting consistently, it synergizes really well with the large magazine. And when you double shot, you consume the ammo, so you are, taking advantage of your large magazine, and getting random burst of bonus damage. Also, I should have mentioned it a little bit better, but when I'm talking about double shot, I'm not talking about shooting 2 bullets at the same time on the same shot. I'm referring to the two-fang effect, so where it's that kind of double shot. Going back to the trailer, we do not see the gun perform any sort of double shotting. So that can mean 3 things. Either it didn't go off in that shot, or that is not the gimmick for a possible Ripper manufacturer. Or simply put, this is not a Ripper manufacturer gun. We don't know yet. Heck, maybe it's Tediore, we don't know, man. Anyways, the other gimmick we talked about was a brand new one, and honestly, this one would be really cool. Imagine you have that COB gimmick from BL3 to where your gun can overheat if you shoot it for too long, but instead of the gun breaking and you're stuck in a quote-unquote pseudo-reload animation, your gun blows up and shoots out shrapnel. To me, that sounds very Bandit-like, or enemy-like. The guns are built with junk, and when you overheat it, it just explodes, shooting shrapnel. I know some people will mention that's very similar to Tediore, you chuck your gun and it blows up. But this is more of a gimmick in which you have it in your hands and more for close range. You don't chuck Tediore's point blank or you're gonna down yourself. But if this is the new Ripper gimmick, then you could just take advantage of close range combat, blow up the gun in your hands, and do damage to enemies around you. When it comes to the gun blowing up in your hands, we were questioning if the player should take damage from that, a little, I don't know, 3% HP, a small amount, right? Or if it should do no damage at all. I mean, the gun's blowing up in your face, yeah, it sounds like it could hurt you. Personally, with this made-up gimmick, I feel like it should not do damage to the player. I just feel like it would leave a bad taste in people's mouth, some extra unfun mechanic. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Be sure to comment down below. On to the final bit here. If you go to the beginning of the trailer and look at the Ripper clan, this is 100% confirmed to be the Ripper clan. You might notice that none of the Ripper clan have actual guns in this scene. Not even one. It's just blunt force weapons in their hands. In Borderlands 2 and 3, the bandits and the COV, they had like actual guns. Them having no weapons in the scene does have me questioning a little bit that like, what if the Ripper manufacturer isn't gonna happen? At the same time, it's a cinematic trailer and maybe they didn't add weapons to it just to, I don't know, save on resources or didn't think it was very important for this scene. Hard to say though, because a second later you can see the two factions running at each other. And then you can see projectiles shooting from the Ripper clan side, so maybe there are guns, or maybe there's not, or maybe that's just like, I don't know, some other projectile built into their cybernetic bodies or something? I don't know, man. Either way, this is all speculation, so let me know what you guys think about this below. Would you want to see the large mags manufacturer return and possibly be the Ripper manufacturer? Or do you just, you know, not really care? I don't know, I just thought it was interesting when looking through the trailer that nobody's really talking about the manufacturers yet. And then my brain went on this little spiral adventure of figuring out what is what. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to comment down below what you think about all this again. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.